Anesongib is by far the most overrated YouTube boxer currently active. Hey guys, it's me, Empty Prime Energy Can here, and today we're going to be talking about who I think the most overrated YouTube boxer currently active is, which is Anesongib. As much as I hate to say it because I like Gib, he really doesn't have a leg to stand on when it comes to YouTube boxing. All of his opponents have been extreme mismatches, barring one. And even that, he was the favourite for. I'm going to run down the list of Anesongib opponents, and I'll explain why they're a mismatch. Anesongib's first opponent was Max Plays FIFA. This was on the KSI vs. Joe Weller undercard, and this was a mismatch for one main reason. Max Plays FIFA had one fucking eye. He was fighting the whole time, blind in one eye. That's like if you were a footballer, but you played with crutches. Gib went 1-0 in this fight and then moved on to Jay Swindler, a legitimate hard nut, but again, no boxing experience. But at this point in YouTube boxing, that's fine. We've got head guards, big gloves. No one really cares about how good of a boxer you are. It's just about entertainment. Jay Swindler comes out, Gib comes out, they fight. Gib dominates Jay Swindler the whole fight and wins on points. After this, KSI and Logan Paul would go on to have their insane rematch with no headgear and 10-ounce gloves in a professional bout, and Anesongib wanted to follow suit, so he fought Jake Paul on the undercard of some other random professional boxers, and this is where things got pretty sticky. You see, up until this point in time, Gib kind of coasted through his fights because he was just aggressive and ducked a lot. You see, that's really good when you're fighting these sort of charity white-collar events or these sort of low-level, extremely low-level amateur boxing. However, when you're against an actual decent boxer, and I'm not even talking like good boxer, I'm not even talking bad boxer, I'm just talking someone who's been training for like at least 6 months, right? When you come across someone like that, you're going to lose because they're not just going to fall for you walking them down and throwing goofy shots, as Jake Paul showed. Jake Paul went in there, boxed legitimately, and because of that, took Gib out quickly in the first round. This was the beginning of the end for Anesongib. I mean, the guy just fought Jake Paul, the guy who went 5 rounds with Deji and got dropped 3 times. But Gib would then go on to have his redemption fight in Miami against Taylor Holder, and he would win that fight by unanimous decision. Now, Anesongib in this fight, he basically just did what he did before, coming forward, ducking and weaving, putting pressure on. However, what he didn't do was stupid crab walks and daft footwork. He was just kind of, he was okay, Taylor Holder lost simply because I think his cardio failed him, and he just didn't want the fight that much, and he just didn't hit Gib that much. He just didn't throw that many punches. Simple as. On the same card that Gib fought Taylor Holder, the main event was Austin McBroom vs. Bryce Hall. For Austin McBroom, this was his first ever boxing match. Like, ever, okay? And then after this event, Gib would then go on to fight Austin McBroom on Social Gloves 2. Now, here's the thing. For the first 1 or 2 rounds of this fight, Austin McBroom was destroying Anesongib. He knocked him down in the first round and just proceeded to wail on him throughout the second. Someone please explain to me how this guy, who had had 1 fight his whole life, went against this other guy who had 4 and put work on him. That is pretty crazy if you ask me. And then Gib in the fight goes on to beat McBroom with a knockout, which everyone kind of expected. He managed to catch McBroom as McBroom hit him with an overhand, and it was the beginning of the end for McBroom. He was chinny and he just couldn't handle that kind of power. Gib then joined the Kingpin tournament and fought McBroom again for the second time, in which he would win because McBroom, stubbed his toe or some shit. I don't know. I think he, twisted his ankle and just started going, ah! I'm not too sure. Even in that fight, McBroom hit Gib with a big lead hook that had Gib wobble. But it is what it is. McBroom just did not want to fight, which, why would you enter the Kingpin tournament if you didn't want to fight? He's also not fighting in the losers bracket either. He's completely given up on the entire tournament, which is just really embarrassing. And now Gib is facing a guy who is 2-0 in his next fight, that being FaZe Jarvis. Jarvis won his last fight because his opponent gave up halfway through the fight, and I don't mean they stayed down, I mean he literally just gave up. Honestly, I don't have a problem with any of this. My only problem, I think what Gib doesn't realize is that he's a YouTube boxer. People don't care if you're not entertaining. And if you're just going to make like one YouTube video every 15 years, your fan base is going to dwindle. People are forgetting who Anesongib is. Only people like me and other people who have been interested in YouTube boxing since 2019, 2018, 2017, that kind of era, they are the only people who care about Anesongib and what he's doing. The newer fans don't give a fuck because they're like, who even is this guy? He's just a YouTube boxer who's one of the top YouTube boxers. Like, that's it. Now, I could go over Gibbs' first couple fights and talk about his technique and how bad it was because it was very, very, very bad. But I feel like all I need to say is that in Gibbs' 2 professional fights, which are the 2 fights he's ever had that have had no head guard and 10-ounce gloves, every other fight has either involved headgear or big gloves. Like, for example, when he fought Taylor Holder, there were 16-ounce gloves, which are the same gloves that are used in white-collar boxing. In Gibbs' only 2 professional fights, he has been knocked down 4 times, okay? That's pretty crazy when you think about it. That's an average of 2 knockdowns per fight, okay? Now, I get that 3 of them came from the Jake fight, but, I mean, really getting knocked down by McBroom like that? Really, bro? He was 1-0 at that point. 1 fight under his belt. Like, come on, dude. In conclusion, Logan Paul better.